Greetings, water signs, and welcome to Intuitive Art Mediums for the August Astro Tarot reading. This is for the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, Sun, Moon, and/or Rising. These are general tarot readings, so please only go with the messages that resonate with you. I do want to go through some of the astrological energies that are occurring during August. As Saturday, August 1st, we have Lammas to kick off August. This is a celebration of the first harvest. Then we have the Leo new moon occurring on Wednesday, August 12th, and that will have a solar eclipse. Now, not all of us will get to see the solar eclipse, but we will all experience the solar eclipse energies. And that's when the moon conjuncts with the sun. And the sun is the ruling planet of Leo, so this is going to be a powerful solar eclipse. And then on Thursday or Friday, August 27th or 28th, we have the Pisces full moon, and that's when the Pisces moon will oppose the Virgo sun at 9:18 p.m. Pacific time. That'll be Thursday, the 27th, and then at 12:18 a.m. Eastern time on the 28th. So that's why that lunar eclipse is split between 2 days. Again, not all of us are going to get to see this lunar eclipse, and we will all feel the lunar eclipse energies. We also have a shift in the lunar moon nodes. The north node is now in Aquarius. Please keep in mind that Pluto is currently in Aquarius. So this is transformation. The north node is kind of our north star, where we want to go towards. And with Pluto in Aquarius, I feel like that this is about transformation and doing a lot of shadow work and coming to who you truly are. And the only way you can truly come to who you are is to know yourself, your shadow self, as well as your conscious self. And Aquarius energy in the North Node, this is about your personal freedom, creating your own rules. Now, this could be more about your personal code that you live by. Uh, this can also be about deliberately breaking traditions, because Pluto in Aquarius, and even though I'm talking about the North Node here, Pluto in Aquarius is going to deliberately destroy and transform different traditions, because our Earth is moving into higher frequencies. It's been in higher frequencies, and now it's just for us to harmonize with that energy. There can be abrupt reversals, changes, and yet with all those changes, it gives us an opportunity to commit to a cause of humanitarianism. Aquarius is about collaborative energies, but Aquarius is also about being unique, coming into your authentic true self, which is unique. And then the South Node, this is the energies that we are clearing or adjusting. And that South Node is in Leo. Currently, we have the Sun and Jupiter in Leo. And Jupiter will be in Leo for around a year or so, and that's going to expand energies. And Leo, of course, being ruled by the sun, likes to shine and be noticed. And this can also bring light into the consciousness, because the sun is about our consciousness, even though I am talking about the south node of the moon. It's taking a really good look at yourself, the ego and pride and generosity. These are qualities of Leo, but there's healthy ego, and then there's egocentricity, where you're just thinking about yourself with no regard to others. Pride, thinking that you're the best or you're the only one. And this prevents you from celebrating with other people their accomplishments. So look at those things about yourself. But Leo, on the more positive side, is about creativity to amaze and delight others. And most importantly, to have fun. Have fun in creating. And with the Leo in the South Node, how this can, what we're clearing away or letting go of, this can be opening us up to new ways of creating and allowing us to reinvent ourselves. I also think that it's worth mentioning that Chiron, the wounded healer asteroid, is retrograding in Aries on Monday, October 3rd. And this retrograde of Chiron gives us an opportunity to reevaluate how we've been taking care of ourselves and to make adjustments. Now, Chiron did dip its toe in Taurus, and it will go back into Taurus eventually. But with Chiron and Aries, this is a focus on self healing. And through your own self healing and compassion, that's also going to expand out into having compassion for others, especially if it's experiences that you've experienced. You can relate to those other people's experiences that are similar to yours. Certainly, we all have our own perspective of experiences, and even if a few people experience the same thing, their perception of that experience is going to be unique on their own. So let's get into the readings. The first reading will be for Cancer, the second reading will be for Scorpio, and the third reading will be for Pisces, and there will be timestamps in the description below. I'll begin with Cancer, and I will meet you at your reading. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your August Astro Tarot reading. This is a general tarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and or Rising. So let's dive into your reading, Cancer. You rule the fourth house of the home and being domestic, and your keyword is immerse. And Cancer is a sensitive water sign, as all the water signs have their own sensitivity. But Cancer is very much focused on home, family, and domestic situations. So let's dive into your reading. We're first going to draw you a card from Seasons of the Witch, Lammas Oracle, because we kick off August with Lammas occurring on August 1st. This is the celebration of the first harvest. And let's see what we have for Cancer. And we have for you Hilltops with number 27. Hold light to your visions as you are being called to climb to new heights. Okay, so this might mean getting out of your comfort zone. And let's look at what the book has to say about your card. Okay, your keywords are perspective, reaching new heights, and holding the vision. How peaceful it is to climb to the top of the hill on a cool summer evening to look out over the village below. From there, everything seems small, even insignificant. The expansive view almost feels like your soul expanding, allowing you to see the bigger picture and your imagination, the solitude and freedom to explore new possibilities. And Cancer, Jupiter just left your sign, but Jupiter was there for a whole year, and you're still feeling that expansive energy. And we go on. There's a reason for the hilltop offers quiet and solitude. Climbing to the summit signifies the ability to conquer new difficulties and reach new heights. I'm sorry. Climbing to the summit signifies the ability to conquer difficulties and reach new heights, something many people are not brave enough to do. There are some who won't even allow themselves to contemplate what if, let alone take any steps to work towards ascending to greatness. But you are not such a person. You've pulled this card because there is a visionary hiding within your spirit. Your job now is to hold on to that vision in your mind's eye. By doing so, you create a powerful intention that guides your thoughts, actions, and decisions, quietly moving you closer to achieving your goals. Keep dreaming, planning, taking calculated risks, and being willing to do the things others are afraid to do. So, this is asking you to be brave. Let's get you a card from the Queen of the Sun Oracle. And we have for you Cancer. Number 18, Flora with fertility. Okay, this indicates growth, nourishing that which you want to grow. And I think that it goes very nicely with the hilltops. For those of you who want to create families, this is also a very positive card. It's also about putting work into a project, and this could be part of your new visions. And at the bottom of the deck, we have 38 with Beltane and Passions, and that can also indicate with Cancer being ruler of the home and family, that you could be trying to expand your family, work with the family that you do have. This can also represent your extended family of friends, the people that you choose to be with. Let's get you a card from the Comfy Cozy Witch. And this fertility card does remind me quite a bit of the Empress card in the tarot. From the Comfy Cozy Witch, we have water, ease, and flow. How appropriate for you, Cancer. You are a cardinal water sign because when the sun enters Cancer, it initiates the first day of summer, the summer solstice. And so you are meant to have this ease and flow. And then I like the card on the bottom, which is nourishment, grow, and share. So some of you might have gardens and you're meant to share your garden and also let your garden help you grow as your garden grows. And now let's get you a magical spell card because it's always fun to do magic. And this might be a great time to do some water magic. This could be taking a nice uh, ritual bath using a nice scented salt, or it could just be plain Epsom salts, and give yourself that nourishing bath that's going to help you relax and come into your ease and flow. Okay, your magic card for Cancer, we have success with number 12. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor, integrity. So, this is asking you to be true to yourself. Some of you might be working on promoting your own business or trying to grow your own business. And this is showing that there is the possibility of success. You're climbing the hilltops, you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're nourishing and nurturing your project, your business, because fertility can represent any project that you're working on, and you're meant to do so with flow. Be in your flow, and everything will come to you with ease. When you're at ease, your energy flows nicely, and success can then flow to you. At the bottom of the deck, we have 34 with strength. Strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I empower. So I feel like that whatever you're working on is helping you to become stronger and strengthening your abilities as well. So let's dive in deeper with the tarot. I am using the Zodiac Tarot cards. And let's see what they have to show for you, Cancer. We begin with the Nine of Wands. Okay, this is saying protect what is yours and creating boundaries. You may have to create boundaries. This could be when you need to relax, create that boundary. Or when you are working on something and you don't want to be disturbed, create that boundary. This could be why you are wanting to go to the hilltops, because that gives you a place of solitude. Next, we have the Two of Wands. This is about getting out of your comfort zone, which we spoke about in your oracle cards. She's holding a globe in her hands, and she is looking at the bigger picture, the globe helping her to see the bigger picture in that microcosm. What is it that she wants to do next? Where does she want to go next? This is contemplating the world. Where do you want to go in the world? Wherever it is, you need to step out of your comfort zone, and this is encouraging you to try something new. And here with the Nine of Wands, we have the moon in Sagittarius. And here we have Mars in Aries. Now, Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. Okay, next we have the Sun in Capricorn with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is saying that you have a good foundation, being careful with your finances. And again, this is asking you to take a calculated risk, not a foolish risk, not just, oh, let's do this, but something that you have contemplated about for some time, and you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and build something. This is a card of very good foundation. Capricorn is a business sign, and Capricorn is your opposing sign. So this can be a really good opposition where you can meet in the middle and bring those energies together. And then we have the Three of Wands, being patient. This is with the Sun in Aries. So here we have Mars in Aries and Sun in Aries and Sun in Capricorn. With that Aries energy, I feel like that it's time to begin, because Aries does start the astral wheel. And this is saying it's time to begin, time to take action. And with this moon Sagittarius, the moon representing our emotional bodies, but also Sagittarius representing, to try to do something with careful boundaries, so that you're working within your guidelines as you do step out of your comfort zone to build something, but it's going to take time and patience. And with the sun in Aries, this is something that might not come to fruition until, excuse me, there's a lot of smoke. Oh, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of smoke in the air outside. We're getting some of that smoke from the forest fires, and it's really impacting my voice. So let me take a little sip of water, and that should help. So the Three of Wands is representing being patient. But while you're being patient, waiting for your ships to come in, you're looking out over on the horizon. And you're waiting for some new experiences with that Three of Wands. But be patient. Your boats are coming in. Your ships are going to arrive. And there will be success for you as well. Okay, let's get some clarifying cards on here for you. Okay, on the Nine of Wands, we have the Two of Swords. This is a card of indecision, but she has a blindfold on, and so she's being asked to use her intuition, to look within. And she has these crows or ravens flying about her. Those can be distractions, but crows and ravens are also protectors, and they can also be spirit totems of wisdom and intuition. So you are being asked to use your intuition and see within. Next, on the Two of Wands, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This also is a card of contemplation, but it's also someone who has nurtured something to grow, and now they're waiting for it to ripen. In some ways, it's like the Three of Pentacles waiting, the merchant who's waiting for his ships to come in. You're waiting for the fruits to ripen. And with that being on the Two of Wands, I feel like this is saying keep working at what you're doing. It's growing, it's progressing. If it's progressing, then keep working at it, because this is below the fertility. And if there's situations that need adjustment, now is the time to make those adjustments. And some of that could come to you intuitively. And if you're not sure which adjustments to make, be patient, relax with water, use water to find your flow. And then on the Four of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, this card is ruled by Capricorn, your opposing sign. And look, we have the Sun in Capricorn. When the Sun enters Capricorn, it initiates the winter solstice. And just as you initiate the summer solstice, Capricorn initiates the winter solstice. So you may be seeing some success by winter time. So I see that very good. Or maybe it's something that you're beginning really to bring together so that you can start the next new year with a project, perhaps a new business. I see a lot of business activity here with all these pentacles. And the wands are your ideas, and there's a lot of wands on here too. So you have a lot of ideas, you're inspired, and I do feel like that you're meant to protect your ideas. Be careful who you share your ideas with, because some people might steal your ideas. Okay, then on the Three of Wands, we have the Page of Pentacles. I really like this because by springtime, with that sun in Aries, you are ready to move forward. So you're making a decision, you're nurturing what it is you want to grow, you're organizing the resources. The Queen of Pentacles is very resourceful, and she's also community minded. So this could be a community niche that you are working towards, and this is organizing that. And the Page of Wands is stepping out into the adventure of that, and I feel like that will occur at the at springtime. The bottom of the deck, we have the Empress. And I'm showing that to you because flora, fertility, reminds me of the Empress. We have the impregnation. But now you have to be patient for the gestation. And I feel like that could be what the Three of Wands is indicating here, is waiting for that gestation period for everything to kind of come together in its own way, and then you'll be ready for that activation. Okay, let's get you a dark moon card. And we have for you, Cancer, ground yourself. Okay, and your opposing sign is Capricorn. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign, and you are a cardinal water sign. So I feel like that this kind of energy is going to help ground your emotional, watery energies. And this could be a business that you start at home. I feel like that it's going to be a home business, because Cancer is very much wanting to be around home, that safety and security, and grounding yourself. And I do like the water, ease and flow, because that water is nourishing the ground, and also working in your garden is going to help ground you. We have the hilltops, which elevates you to your hopes and dreams, but you're also grounded on the earth of the hilltop. Okay, let's get you some Isis Oracle cards to conclude your reading. And for you, Cancer, we begin with, here is your artwork. And we have Power Over 7 Scorpions. That's interesting because Scorpio will be the next reading, and Scorpio rules the 8th house of death, transformation, and rebirth. So you are being initiated into the magic of conjuring, so as to have power to affect lower vibrational forces through your own will and spoken word. You are guided to use this powerful gift with compassion and discernment, with mercy and non-judgment. You can then manage any toxicity in your life swiftly and with great effect. Please keep in mind that if you abuse this gift, this powerful gift, and you're not compassionate or discerning, and you're not showing mercy to others because you're judging them, this will backfire on you. And it could backfire you in a way where it does make it difficult for you to decide what it is you want to do. So if you're experiencing that kind of confusion, then come back. Again, I would recommend doing a nice ritual bath and come back into your ease and your flow and clear out the toxicity, because this power is meant to help you clear out that toxicity. Okay, next we have, oh, here's your artwork. And we have truths unveiled. There are times when appearances of people, places, and things are deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you. When you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you, you may think there is something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. Trust what you feel, not what appears to be. Okay, I feel like that is also talking about this Two of Swords on the Nine of Wands, because this combination here can represent hypervigilance. So you might be acting out of anxiety, doubts, and fears. There could be feelings of uh, paranoia, and that can add to the confusion of that Two of Swords. So again, if you come back into yourself, cleanse yourself, because water is very cleansing, it will unveil the truths to you so you can see clearly. Next, we have this card. Here's your artwork. And we have healing the divine masculine. The divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of your life. Your inner masculine is going through the healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability, so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. And here we have the flora with fertility. And if you are experiencing pain or stiffness or any kind of issues with the right side of your body, that can give you a clue as to what part of the divine masculine needs healing. The right side of the body represents the masculine side of our divinity, and the left side represents our divine feminine energies. So that can be a clue. And again, if you're feeling those aches and pains, a nice hot Epsom salt bath can be helpful for that. It'll bring you closer to feeling like you're in the ocean that you so love. Okay, here is the artwork to your final card, and we have Talismans of Potency. Okay, sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and intention, helping you heal the split between spirit and matter, bringing physical matter more deeply into the light and life. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of material world as a part of your spiritual practice. So it could be that the business that you are trying to create is a spiritual based business. This could simply be making your own bath salts, writing down the recipes of the herbs and essential oils that you add to these bath salts, and then maybe sharing them with people at Christmas time, because we do have the sun in Capricorn, which initiates, because we do have talk of initiation here. Your cardinal sign, Capricorn's a cardinal sign. and they are initiators. Aries is also a cardinal sign. It initiates spring. So we have the initiation of summer with you, the initiation of spring with these two Aries cards, and then the initiation of winter with Capricorn. So I feel like that working with these seasons, and your power is going to be most potent during these initiation times. Okay, this is your reading, Cancer. I'm going to end it here. I'm sorry, I apologize about my voice being scratchy, and there's just a lot of smoke in the air from those wildfires. So again, I hope you have a very wonderful August. I hope that it's filled with creativity and ideas. Make sure you write your ideas down, and then things will kind of fall in place for you. And that will also help ground your ideas. And enjoy your August. Until next time, take care and blessed be, my friends. Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Intuitive Art Mediums for your August Astro Tarot reading. This is a general tarot reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and or Rising. So please only go with the messages that resonate with you. And let's dive in. Scorpio, you rule the 8th house, and your key word is investigate. You are ruled by both planets. Mars is your traditional ruling planet, and Pluto is your modern ruling planet. And both are about taking action, and Pluto is about transformation. It's the underworld, which I think Pluto's energy connects with your sign much better because it is about the underworld, that which is hidden, death, transformation, and rebirth. So it is a regenerative energy. And you are a fixed water sign. So let's get into your reading. We'll begin with the Seasons of the Witch, Lammas Oracle, because we start August with Lammas being on August 1st. It is the celebration of the first harvest. So let's see what messages the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle has for you. And we have craftsmanship with number 14. Empower yourself with the knowledge that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. I really like this for you, Scorpio, because you are curious. That's why you like to investigate. And Scorpios do make some of the better detectives. You're curious about such things, uh, why people do what they do. Okay, and that is with number 14. And from the book, we will read the meaning. So your keywords is mastery, dedication, and consistency. And the best way to have masteryship is to be consistent and show up and dedicate to that mastery of your craft. So you are the master craftsman of your life's path, and it is time for you to step up and step into your role as leader of how your journey unfolds. No one can be better than you, and in fact, you are so rare and unique that there is only one of you in all existence. There is no one else who thinks, behaves, speaks, or feels exactly like you, and that is your superpower. But your path will be full of ups and downs. This is not a reflection of how talented you are or whether or not this is the right path. Everyone, even masters, experience failure. And also keep in mind that anybody, regardless of their sign, have those same capabilities. We are all unique. And Pluto, your modern ruling planet, is in Aquarius, which is asking everyone to get to know their unique, authentic self and bring it forward. So you are being asked to learn the value of pushing through challenges and setbacks. Obstacles are stepping stones towards growth, not a sign to give up or change course. Remember that mastery is a process and each setback brings you closer to success. I also want to mention with Scorpio, because you do rule the underworld, there tends to be like a death, a transformation, and rebirth. So you go through these cycles, and sometimes, Scorpio, you can be afraid of your own success and you become your worst enemy and sabotage it and kill that pathway, only to transform and be reborn or to start somewhere else on a pathway. So, with patience and consistency, you could be well on your way to standing tall as the authority of your craft. It doesn't matter if you're applying this effort to being a CEO or a parent, the pillar of your community, or managing a tiny homestead. This card reminds you that your results will match your dedication. Additionally, receiving this card encourages you to embrace a growth mindset and remain open to feedback, learning new skills, and seeking out knowledge. So, I know, Scorpio, all the water signs are sensitive in their own unique way, and water signs can be exceptionally sensitive to criticism or seeing feedback as criticism when it's just someone trying to guide you, someone who's has experience and is trying to share with you that experience so that you can learn from their mistakes so that you don't make those same mistakes. But alas, some of us are determined to make our own mistakes and learn from them in order to understand how that works, because hearing somebody else's mistakes, you may not really understand that until you experience it for yourself, and then you will see the wisdom that they were trying to show you. But sometimes we just need to experience things so that we can understand. Let's get you a Queen of the Sun oracle. And we have for you, Scorpio, 32 Lammas. That's August 1st. That is the celebration of the first harvest. Gratitude, being grateful for all that you receive. Do not take it for granted and be grateful, because there's a lot of other people that might not be in this, same comfortable situation that you may or may not be in. Scorpio does tend to find ways to be successful and have that security, either from their family, inheritance, because Scorpio does tend to, the sign, the house that it rules that inheritance energy, because it is about death, transformation, and rebirth. And so tomorrow, which is August 1st, is a great time for you to be grateful for all that you have. No matter how little or how much you have, it is time to be grateful for even the ability for you to do what it is that you do. And sometimes being grateful for our abilities helps guide us to what those abilities, they open up the pathway for us to utilize those abilities. Since we have the craftsmanship and gratitude, be grateful for the tools that you have to work your craft, because you have the tools needed to create something. You do have the power. That is the unique power of Scorpio, is you do have the ability to transform your situation, transform your life. Your very energy is about transformation. And with Pluto and Aquarius, you too can be part of that leadership of transformation, because again, Pluto is your ruling planet and you relate to it like nobody else does. Okay, from the Comfy Cozy Witch, we have, look at this, Fairy Magic, Dance and Play. And here we have the mushrooms. So if you're out in the forest, look for these mushrooms, look for fairy circles, because fairy circles are usually made out of mushrooms or toadstools. And mushrooms are very, very important to the biosphere of the forest. And there's also healing properties to many different mushrooms, as well as dangerous poisons. And again, Scorpio, because you do rule over that death energy, mushrooms can be deadly. And that's part of the fairy magic, dance and play. And understanding the medicinal properties or just the properties of these mushrooms, and what you can do with that, because certain mushrooms can also heal as well as alter our state of mind, which can also be healing, especially when it comes to healing PTSD and other traumatic things that have occurred to us, because the, like psilocybin, for example, or the golden teachers, they can help shift your perspective and see how it was actually helping you and the lessons that you learn. And you can be grateful for those lessons that you have learned from those difficult challenges, because then it also shows you how strong and innovative you can be, Scorpio. So let's get you a magical spell card, because it's always fun to do magic. And you have fairy magic here. Dance and play. You're meant to have fun with this. Have fun with what you are creating. Have fun with the transformation. Work with the fairies. And what I mean by that is work with nature and her energies. So let's see what magical spell card we have for you, Scorpio. And we have number 11, passion. Passion, rise up high. Inflame my purpose, reach the sky. And to me, I feel like that when you do your work with passion, it's going to inflame, expand your purpose. And we currently do have Jupiter in Leo, and that Leo is about creativity and passion and creating passionately what you love to do. And I think that is what your reading is guiding you to do, is you have the tools you need, and be grateful for those tools. You have the curiosity, the fairy magic, because fairy magic is about curiosity about nature. Fairies are earth angels. And then what moves your passion? What makes you want to fulfill your purpose. And here at the bottom of the deck, we have 29, healing. Candle flame, burn this hour. Bring to me your healing power. So I mentioned the healing properties of the mushrooms, and there could be certain mushrooms that would help you to heal. And that is something that you can investigate. And in your own healing, which is transformative, it can inspire your passion to share this knowledge with others so that they too can heal themselves. Okay, let us go deeper into this with the tarot. I am using the Zodiac Tarot deck. And for you, Scorpio, we begin with the Two of Pentacles, the juggling of two energies, the polarity. Okay, and Scorpio, your opposing sign is Libra, but you also, I'm sorry, your opposing sign is Taurus energy, an earth energy. This we have Jupiter in Capricorn representing the Two of Pentacles, but your opposing sign is Taurus, and Taurus rules the second house of career and finances. And the Two of Pentacles, the juggling of two energies, earth energies, this could be a job that you're working at and maybe working on a side project, something that appeals to you more and it's more in alignment with your passions because you are about transformation. Your passions can be just as changing and transformative. So you can be someone who doesn't make up their mind quickly because you want to carefully balance those energies. But here we have the polarities. And as I said, your opposing sign is Taurus, but you also have a special relationship with Aries because you share the ruling planet of Mars. Mars is about taking action, and it can have a quick temper as well. Next, we have the Tower card, divine intervention, sudden changes. We do have Uranus in Gemini, and Uranus is about sudden changes, and it can be disruptive. And the reason why this tower is being destroyed is because that it doesn't have a strong foundation. So this can be learning from your mistakes and seeing where things went wrong so that when you rebuild, which you are very good at, Scorpio, you can correct where the mistakes were. But first of all, you have to admit that there were mistakes. Don't hide them because Scorpio is also very good about hiding things. And because you're so good about hiding things, that's why you're so good at the investigation and finding out the secrets. That's why you make such great detectives in whatever field you're in because of that investigative curiosity. Next, we have the Seven of Pentacles with Saturn in Taurus. And right now we have Saturn in Aries, which you do have a relationship with, and Neptune is also in Aries. But Saturn will be moving into Taurus next, and this is a time of patience, waiting for the fruits to ripen and picking them at the proper time. So this is about seizing the opportunity at the right time. Don't go too soon, don't go too late. It must be just right. And I feel like that's what the Two of Pentacles is also trying to tell you is balancing, because the Two of Pentacles is about what's coming in, what's going out, and is it balanced? And then we have the Nine of Pentacles with Venus in Virgo. This is really nice. This is a woman who is her own sovereign. This is a woman who has enough to live in comfort and maybe a little bit of luxury, whatever that means to you. You have enough to do what you want to do and live in comfort and ease, to dance and play with the fairies if you wish. And you also have enough here with these three pentacles. See, you keep six pentacles for yourself, and you have these three pentacles that you can invest with, whether it's investing in a side business for yourself or some kind of project or your community. Okay, let's get into the clarifying cards. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot deck for clarifying. And let's see what we have for you, Scorpio. On the Two of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, all the Knights are instigators of change, and the Knight of Cups is bringing love, passion into your life. This is very positive. I feel like that it's helping to bring balance into your energy, as well as helping you to flow. The Knight of Cups is water, so he's the Knight of Water. So this is very good. And I feel like when you flow with love in your heart, whether it's doing something you love with this craftsman, you're putting that love energy into your work. And I also feel like that this is also part of the Two of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups, is pouring your love into your work, and it makes you feel grateful and happy. With the Tower, we have the Five of Cups. Give yourself time to grieve the losses and the destruction of the Tower. That is okay. This was something that was meant to happen. It's divine intervention. And as you can see, it is ruled by Mars, your traditional ruling planet. And this is not to get sucked down into your grief, but think of all the creativity that comes from grief. Think of all the great songs and artwork and books and writings and poems that have come from people's experiences of lost love, loss of what they knew, the loss of self, even. And in that grief, there is relief, release. And I almost feel like that with this divine intervention and this destruction, because it is divine intervention, it gives you an opportunity to release that pressure and allow yourself to have that grieving moment so that you can clear that energy from yourself and rebalance your energy, and to do so with love and gratitude. On the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Four of Cups. This is a card of frustration and just tired of trying. It's like, I've tried this, I've tried that, and it's just not working out. And then we have the fairy magic here with dance and play. And Spirit brings forth this fourth cup to you. And the magic of this fourth cup is that it enables you to blend what's in the other three cups to make something. Think of the dry ingredients of bread, and then you're given a cup of water, and now you can mix these three dry ingredients and actually make something. I feel like that is part of your craftsmanship. You might be a little weary and disappointed with where your life has been going, but this is something that you've been nurturing. You have nurtured different things in your life. And even though you've been frustrated and stuff, there is an opportunity here to still make something work. Because sometimes when, for example, when a potter, is using clay and doing a sculpting or making a vase or any other kind of vessel on the spinning wheel, and if he messes up, that clay is still malleable. And even though that project, had a flaw in it, and he has to destroy it, but he still has that lump of clay that he can rebuild something from that and learn from those mistakes. And with practice, you are better. But then on the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Fool. There's a new adventure waiting for you, and you are meant to take this leap of faith. And that can be very challenging when you are coming out of this grief and you're just weary, you're just tired of it all. And between the grief and frustrated with your life, this leap of faith, you have to feel it. You have to feel that adventure, that sense of an adventure. A new pathway is opening up for you. Of course, the Fool can represent being foolish, but the archetype of the Fool is the journey of the hero through the high arcana of the cards. If you're familiar with Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, you'll have an understanding of the Fool's journey through the high arcana. And any other kind of story, the hero is key. He has to go through difficulty or the story is just boring and the hero doesn't grow. It is those difficulties that help crack you open so that you can expand and come into yourself. Think of it as like a seed that you put in the ground and you water it, and eventually it cracks open so the root can dig down deep in, even deeper into the ground to get that stability, much like this Tower card, having a good foundation before it pushes upward to the sun. So I do feel like that there's some kind of grief that you need to let go of. And as you go through that process, you're going to rediscover your passion. You're also going to understand your frustration as well. And once you let that go, you make room for a new adventure. And this Knight is the instigator of change. And he's on the Two of Pentacles. And there is an energy exchange here. Okay, so let's get you a Dark Moon card. Now we do have a Pisces full moon lunar eclipse later on in August when we're in Virgo season. And for you, Scorpio, we have the Morgan with number 25. Okay, so the Morgan is associated with the mysteries, magic, and let's look at the Dark Moon Oracle and go deeper into understanding this card. So her key word is fight. So the Morgan is a fierce Irish goddess associated with war, prophecy, and fate. And that's very interesting too, because Scorpio, your sign is associated with those same very things, with war, prophecy, and fate. A shapeshifter, she was said to stir up war and then choose who would live or die. Her ravens represent transformation, vision, and the courage to face the unknown. And you, Scorpio, represent the underworld, the shadow self, and that is the unknown. You need to fight for what you want. Don't behave in a way that makes you ashamed of yourself, but do fight fire with fire. The Morrigan aligned with Aries energy, and Aries, you and Aries share that traditional planet of Mars, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the Morrigan aligned with Aries energy is calling you to rise above your fears. And here we have that Five of Cups and the Four of Cups, and the Fool starting a new adventure. It's time for bold action, and the Fool is very bold. Gaze into the murky depths of self-doubt, fear, failure, or hesitation. That is the Four of Cups as well as the Five of Cups. They are what's keeping you from fulfilling your true potential now. Once you get through that, you can get to the other side of your desires and achieve your goals. Remember that real courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. You have to have courage to face what you fear. If you don't fear it, courage doesn't exist without fear. And you must have the courage to face your fears. So the Morrigan famously stirs up fear and confusion. That's part of her modus operandi. Any chaos in your life? Now is to draw your attention to what needs to change. We have this Tower card with the Five of Cups. What are you grieving about? Have you pushed that aside? Have you tried to ignore your grief? And if so, that's what's causing you this frustration. And it's time for you to face that, to understand that so that you can let go of it. Okay, so any chaos in your life now is to draw your attention to what needs change. And the very reason why you asked your question or drew this card. Resist and clear limiting beliefs and tell you you're not strong enough, not worthy enough, or not ready. Get ready to fight if you have to. So you may have to fight your fears, not fight other people. If you get into arguments with other people, why are you doing that? What fear within you? Because you're seeing something in that other person that you're recognizing it. And by creating this chaos and being argumentative, you're denying yourself that opportunity to understand the fear that you don't want to face. So, additional meanings for this card is recognize that your fears may be more in your head than reality. Unite with female friends to get through this. Have confidence that you will win against a rival, adversary, or opponent. Change the way you're coming across. Rest assured, you're at the peak of the chaos now. And that can represent this Five of Cups because here she's getting, here there's like this whirlpool and she's dumping, her grief into this whirlpool. And if she's not careful, it can suck her down into the whirlpool, into the darkness, into deep depression. And with that happening with the Tower card, you could feel like that everything you've worked for has been destroyed and you feel like you failed. But the question here is, Was that really meant for you? If necessary, and here with the Seven of Pentacles, is it worth your effort to continue working towards these? Because it feels like that you're tired of, like, okay, I tried this, I tried that, I tried this other thing, I tried all these other things, and it just doesn't feel right to me. Now is the time to try something new. The Fool trusts in the energy. The Fool travels light because the Fool understands that everything that is needed will be provided along the way. And here is the Nine of Pentacles. And you have the wealth, the means to do what you want to do. You are your own sovereign. You have the abilities here with craftsmanship, and you are working towards mastership. And I feel like in some ways here, you have mastered different things, but it didn't get you into the position that you were hoping for. And it's not because you failed, it's because that really wasn't meant for you. But that knowledge that you learned is going to be useful in your future journey. For example, we have this fairy magic with all the mushrooms, understanding what plants, this is a metaphor, what plants are edible in the forest. These are survival skills. What is safe that you find along your way? And you have that knowledge through your past experiences. Okay, let's end your reading with the Isis Oracle. Scorpio, I think your reading's going to be the longest of the 12 readings. I only have one more reading to do after this, and it's Pisces. Okay, so we have for you, here is your artwork, and we have Pillar of Light, burning bright, Earth star below, Soul star above, burn away all that is not light, transform all into unconditional love, Star of Isis, descend your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. This card has shown up in many of the readings, so I do feel like that it is a collective energy, and we are meant to be a pillar of light burning bright. Think of it as like a lighthouse. Here is your artwork. The Dark Mysteries. I feel like this is very fitting for you since you rule the underworld. The Dark Goddess calls you to her inner chamber, where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and the prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here, and I feel like that is speaking to the Morrigan as well as this Five of Cups. And this is your test with the Tower and the Five of Cups, as well as the Seven of Pentacles with the Four of Cups. But your gift is freedom. And the Fool is the symbol of complete freedom. He's unbound. And there's also financial freedom there with the Nine of Pentacles for you as well, Scorpio. Here is your artwork, and we have Divine Guardian. This is a time of significant spiritual growth and healing for you. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of Divine Mother Isis. Relax and allow your transformation to happen. Your divine guardian protects you now. Let go. Trust unconditionally in what is happening for you, as there is only divine love beneath the surface of the present situation. Let go of your grief. Let go of this tower that you built and the grief of its destruction, the frustration that you're feeling of all the things that you've tried and it hasn't worked out. That doesn't mean success is built on a pile of failures, but it's because you are willing to learn. And I do feel like that this card is speaking and confirming those energies. And your final card, Scorpio, we have Lady of the Stars. Now, this card has not come out in any of the other readings, and you are second to the last reading. Cyrus is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. She brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. She asks you to pay attention now because something significant is taking place at a spiritual level for you at this time. So if you're not a spiritual person, mushroom magic with the fairy magic could help unlock and open those doors for you and trusting that flow of energy. Okay, Scorpio, this is your reading. You have the longest reading so far of all these readings. So if you enjoyed this reading and it resonated with you, please give it a like and feel free to subscribe or share. And enjoy your August. Take care and blessed be, my friends. Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your August Astro Tarot reading. This is a general tarot reading meant for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and or Rising. So please only go with the messages that resonate with you. And Pisces, you are ruler of the 12th house, and your key word is sensitive. Pisces, you are a mutable water sign, and you are associated with like the abyss, the depths, the mysteries. And sometimes Pisces goes into this deep, abysmal water, and they're just kind of floating there. And Pisces do tend to need to have their alone time because you are so sensitive and you pick up every single little vibration. I mean, think of how sensitive water is. You pick up every earth shift, every earthquake, the vibration of all the movements and even the winds, and you can even feel the lunar poles. And your ruling planet is Neptune. So you're very dreamy. And Neptune, was in your sign not too long ago because Neptune is now in Aries. And Neptune is one of the outer planets that does take a little bit longer to go through the astrological wheel, but it's now in Aries and it was conjunct with Saturn. Both of those planets are in Saturn. And Saturn helps to bring organization to the dreaminess of, of Neptune. And so think of the god Neptune, and he's associated with Poseidon. So the depths of the oceans, to where Cancer is the crab, and though they're familiar with the depths, they're not familiar with the abysmal depths of Pisces. I mean, you're in the abyss, you're in the deepest parts of the ocean, and it's darkness, but yet you feel everything. It's the ocean floor. It's the part of the ocean where the only light is the luminescence of the creatures that luminate. So let's get into your reading, Pisces. We are going to begin with the seasons of the Witch, the Lammas Oracle, because August starts off with Lammas on August 1st. It's the celebration of the first harvest. So let's see what kind of energy we start August off for Pisces. And we have for you Prayers to the Earth, number 34. Become present with the blessings you already have. May gratitude fill your heart. And this is really beautiful. No, you're my last reading for August, and no other reading has received this card. And this, I feel like, is very appropriate for you because here we have a woman standing in the water giving her prayer to the earth. And the earth is covered with water. There's more ocean water surface than there is land surface. And you are connected to all of it. That's why you feel so much. And sometimes it's difficult for you to know what are your feelings and what are the vibrations from the earth. So your key words here is gratitude, acknowledgement, or acknowledgement of blessings. So gratitude and acknowledgement of your blessings. Many, if not all, of the practices for all of the Sabbaths are born out of a deep gratitude for another day of life, another morsel to eat, or shelter from the rain. These celebrations were moments to pause, reflect, and express sincere thanks for all blessings, grand and small. In today's world, however, it's so easy to get swept away by the desire for more without taking the time to acknowledge all that you already have, from the breath of your lungs to the shoes on your feet. There is always something to give thanks for. You are being called to shift your focus from what may be lacking or incomplete and direct your attention to everything that is already present in your life. Share your appreciation with others. Thank the rivers and the clouds. Celebrate all that you have not had to endure. Open your heart and let gratitude fill it in any empty spaces or feelings of lack. And more time spent in gratitude, the more you will feel fertilized, the energy of growth and transformation. And think of all the rivers and streams that lead to the oceans, to the seas. So here's prayers to the earth ritual. And this is something that isn't with all the cards, just certain cards, and you happen to be lucky enough to receive this card. So please receive this prayers to the earth with gratitude. Creating a prayer ritual for the earth can be an incredibly rewarding and meaningful experience. A little time, some thoughtfulness, and your own spiritual practice can create something truly unique that is meaningful to you. You can use this ritual as a way to express love, appreciation, gratitude, commitment, or any other emotion you wish to connect with the greater Earth community. And remember, Earth provides us with everything we have. And it's easy to get distracted with, your everyday job and work and the hustle and bustle of, the city, the town, whatever you do in life. And we forget that the earth provides us with everything. And it's time to be grateful. Think of it as Mother Earth. We need to respect our planet. We need to be grateful for all that she provides for us. our food that nurtures us, the water. And, there are, it's out there that like these massive data centers, the AI data centers, are destroying the water systems and literally destroying the towns that these mega AI data systems are being built in, and people are protesting about having these things built in their community, seeing what has happened in other communities where they have built these facilities. It has destroyed the water, and the people can't live there anymore because the water has been so badly polluted. And I'm saying this because you're a water sign, Pisces. So start by finding a quiet spot outdoors that has a special meaning for you, a place of natural beauty or personal significance. If possible, take off your shoes and sit in the stillness so that you are directly connected with the earth beneath you. Begin by breathing in deeply, allowing yourself to become present in the moment and noticing how the earth feels beneath your feet and all of the senses this brings. And you can, as you breathe, the earth too breathes through its breezes and the winds, and feel that as the breeze caresses your face, as it blows through your hair. This is, and that wind also speaks through the trees. It makes the trees talk. And you can share in the whispers and the conversations of the trees because the birds respond to that, the animals respond to that because they see things in ways that we do not. And they feel things that we do not because they're more attuned to nature. They live in the wild. So, what follows is up to you. Your prayer ritual can be whatever feels right and resonates with you. You might meditate for a few minutes, chant, or simply express your thoughts and feelings out loud. You could use words, music, movement, or any other thing that feels comfortable to you. Spend as much time as needed in this connection, allowing yourself to go deeper into the relationship between yourself and the earth community around you. And the earth community that they are speaking of is the plants, the stones, the rocks, the animals, the birds, the fish, every creature that is around you. Let it speak to you because what captures your attention is how Mother Nature, how the earth is trying to communicate with you through these spiritual totems of crystals, stones, water, different trees, different plants, different flowers, different birds. And you can look these things up to have a deeper understanding of the messages that nature is trying to send to you. And this too will also help you connect with this earth. And notice that this prayer to the earth ritual is about what feels right to you. So it's asking you to tune in to yourself and find your own inner harmony with nature, to be in harmony with nature. Okay, so the closing of your ritual is just as important as the beginning. After expressing your gratitude for being able to connect in this way, take some time to sit peacefully and listen for anything that may come through. Perhaps a message from the earth itself. When you are done, slowly rise from the spot and give thanks for the experience. By taking part in a prayer ritual for the earth, you join with others around you and connect with something much larger than yourself. And quite often, when I go out into the woods, I always bring a little offering to the creatures. It might be a handful of gorp or trail mix, because to me, I am entering the home of these creatures. And what do you do when you go over to your friend's house? You bring a gift. You bring, a bottle of wine or beer, or not that our creatures do that, but you can bring water. You can bring uh, food for the little creatures that you know are going to be healthy and they're going to appreciate it. Sometimes I'll take some peanuts still in the shell, they're unsalted, and I will give them, I'll put them at a foot of a tree or several trees. And this is my gift to allowing me to come into their home. And several birds, especially the mountain jays, will be there. And even on my hikes into the woods, into where there are no paths, I have gone up these big hills, and the blue jays, the mountain jays, would follow me up there, and they would keep watch for me. They were guardians. And if something was going on, they would sound the alarm. And then I got so high up in the hills that there was silence. I mean, there was no sound, no breeze. And it felt very ominous. And it gave me the feeling that it's time to turn around and come back down the mountain. And then the jays were waiting for me there. And so it does create this beautiful connection, because you brought an offering to nature. You brought an offering to her little creatures that are there. And and sometimes even little insects, they need a little bit of water. It's been very dry, and sometimes making that offering is an act of kindness. So be kind to the creatures. Come to the forest or go to your spot in nature, but treat it with reverence and respect, and bring an offering to be grateful. And this is also a way to practice gratitude. It's like, thank you for allowing me to come to your home and visit and be in nature and connect with nature. And so, too, when the creatures come to your home, when you're at your house, the urban wildlife, be good and kind to them. Again, it's very dry. And does it hurt you to provide them with water, and so that they can drink some water or have a bird bath, and make sure that it's not too deep so that they can, you know, do their thing in the water. These are little ways, even bird seeds to give to your birds, having a little bird feeder. And then if other wild urban wildlife come to your yard, because I know some people live where bears and mountain lions walk through, and even moose and elk walk through their properties, what can you do to show them reverence? And sometimes it's just giving them that space to allow them to walk through, and letting them know that it's okay for them to be there, because you are living on this planet. We're sharing this planet with all these creatures, and we should be grateful and kind to all that is around us. Okay, let's get into the Queen of the Sun for you. I'm sorry, I'm just a wild earthling, and I love going into the forest, and I love putting my feet in the river, and it just brings me such calm and peace. And I just wanted to share those with you because so many people go into places of nature and they leave their litter behind. I tend to, and when I do see that litter, I pick it up, put it in a bag. I always take a bag with me because I know I'm going to find litter somewhere. And I will put it in the bag. And then when I come up to, because usually it's around a park and there's, a trash bin, and all the trash that I pick up when I'm out visiting nature, I put it in the trash bin so that it is properly disposed of. So, at the very least, people should not leave their litter behind. And, I feel better about leaving the space a little bit better than what it was when I arrived. But, pick up after yourself, not just you, those who litter. Okay, we have renewal with Imbolc. Okay, 36. Imbolc occurs on Groundhog's Day. It's usually February 1st through February 2nd, and Imbolc means in milk. This is when the sheep come into milk, and this is a renewal. On Groundhog's Day is when we know that spring is either going to come early or it's 6 weeks away. But what I find so humorous about this is, regardless if the groundhog sees his shadow or not, the spring equinox is 6 weeks from Imbolc, from Groundhog's Day. So this is a time of renewal. And at the bottom of the deck, we have 7 with solar cycle 7 and will. And this is, to me, this looks like the willpower to uh, set yourself free. Her hands are not bound, but yet she has all these ropes tied around her. But her hands are free, so she can free herself from these entanglements. And they could be her own emotional entanglements. But with renewal and the prayers to the earth, I feel like that you reconnecting with earth is going to renew your spirit. And it's going to enable you to cleanse all those things that you want to clear out of your spirit and come back home with a sense of renewal and gratitude. Okay, let's get you a comfy, cozy witch card. For Pisces, what do we have? And we have for you Squirrel, preparation and determination. So again, take care of your little wildlife creatures. Um, Maybe plant an oak tree so that you're providing them with some kind of food source. Also, quite often when we go to the forest, and if you make an offering to nature's little creatures, squirrels and chipmunks are some of the creatures that appreciate those peanuts and those little nuts and raisins, as well as the birds. So I feel like that this prayers to the earth is kind of a release that's going to help renew you. And in that renewal, after that cleansing, it's part of the preparation for your determination. And at the bottom of the deck, we have altar with divination and magic. Now, the altar is a place where we can ground our energy. It's where we do our magical work. And it's always good to allow it to shift with the season so it reflects the season that we are in. And that is part of, you cleanse that space to prepare it for the next season. Well, we are in summertime. August 1st, which happens to be tomorrow, is Lammas, and this can be a preparation for the celebration of the first harvest. And maybe you need to show some determination to make going out in nature and connecting with nature part of your own personal ritual because it makes you feel good. It helps ground you. And Pisces, you being this water sign of depth and, being floating and to the bottom of the ocean floor in depths that even humans haven't been able to explore. This is your energy, that unknown, dark, watery energy. And Earth, and I wouldn't be surprised, Pisces, if some of your best friends are Earth signs, because Earth signs help you ground because they're earthy. Okay, let's get you a magical spell card because it's always fun to do magic. And we have for you inspiration with number 19. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. I like this because Isis is very much connected with the earth, with the elements of earth. She commands the elements of earth. And in many ways, she's like the magician because she was able to resurrect her husband Osiris. The bottom of the deck, we have 13 with energy. A light inside my fire divine. Energy, fill me, make me shine. So I feel like that doing this prayers to the earth, the renewal, it's clearing you, but this renewal is also helping you to prepare whatever it is that you're determined to do. But I also feel like that your inspiration comes from this connection to earth and this gratitude that renews you. And by doing this, you will always be inspired. Nature is the best artist. She is the creator of everything on earth because even us humans, everything that we use to create comes from the earth. Okay, let us get you some tarot cards to go deeper into this reading. I do feel like that this is a very deep spiritual reading. And I must say, this is one of the deeper, more spiritual readings. And you're the last reading I'm doing for the month of August. So I feel like that there is a deep transformation happening deep within your depths of your soul. So we begin with the Six of Pentacles, the giving and receiving, again about the gratitude, everything that we receive from the earth. And look, it's Moon in Taurus. So I feel like that some of you have a connection with Taurus. Taurus is fixed earth. And that can really be a powerful grounding energy for you because Pisces do tend to be very successful. And because that just flows to them, but they need to anchor it to something to help ground it. And Taurus rules the second house of career and finances. So it can help you ground your dreams so that you can manifest them. Next, we have the Knights of Pentacles. Okay, the Knights are instigators of change. The Knight of Pentacles is where to plant your seeds. Plant your seeds in the right place where they will thrive. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all of the Knights. Again, this is slow change with the Knight of Pentacles because he is careful about where he plants his seeds. Next, we have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire. She is willing to take the risk. She's willing to take chances. She may not know the outcome, but she's willing to go for it because it feels right. She moves on her inspiration, and she knows how to make a dramatic entrance just as she knows how to make an exit. And sometimes her exit is as quiet as this little black cat that merges into the shadows and quietly leaves. And then everybody's like, where did the Queen of Wands go? Did she just leave? And other times she can leave quite dramatically. Okay, next we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, I'm not surprised that you got this card because the Nine of Pentacles, here we have Venus in Virgo, and Virgo happens to be your opposing sign, another earth sign. This is a mutable earth sign. Virgo is about your health and well-being. And here we have a woman who is her own sovereign. This is a woman who is financially wealthy, well-to-do. She lives in what is comfortable for her, what she feels is luxurious to her, because we have our own sense of what that is. Here she has 6 pentacles so that she can live comfortably, and she has 3 other pentacles that she can invest in her creativity, anything that she wants to manifest, or invest in her community, her or businesses, whatever it is that feels right to her. This is money that she can invest in maintaining her wealth and well-being. She likes living a comfortable life, and she also has the time to do what pleases her, to delve into her arts, to delve into what interests her. She's not bored because here she has a peregrine. Here it's a hawk-like predator bird sitting on her hand. And that bird, even though it's wearing a mask, it still hears her and senses her. But when she removes the mask, the bird can take flight and get a higher view and then come back, and there's that communication so that you do get this bird's eye view of opportunities. And the hawks and falcons are birds of messages from the heavens. They can also send your messages to heaven. So your prayers to the earth, to heaven, to earth and sky. There's that balance of alchemy. Okay, let's get some clarifying cards here with the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, on the Six of Pentacles of giving and receiving, we have the Four of Cups. Okay, the Four of Cups is a card of frustration and weariness, and you're just tired of it all. But here comes a cup gifted to you from Spirit. And sometimes the lessons of the Four of Cups is, think of these as the dry ingredients to make bread. But you can't make bread because you're missing the fourth ingredient, the water that binds them together. And that's why I feel like, because we have Taurus and Virgo here, we have the Knight of Earth and we have the Queen of Fire. And so I feel like that earth, you're the water, and you need the earth to ground and bind your inspiration, your dreams. Okay, on the Knight of Pentacles, we have Temperance. This is a card of alchemy, of self-alchemy, also preparation and initiation. This person is purifying and cleansing themselves, preparing themselves, balancing their energies before they set out on the path to the crown of their glory, to their hopes and dreams of what they want to accomplish. In the traditional deck of the Rider-Waite, it is an angel with one foot on water and one foot on earth. And then there's a pathway that runs up this way towards the mountains with a golden crown. But in alchemy, there is a preparation before you move forward. And it could be moving forward in your experiment. And in some ways, the Four of Cups is a kind of alchemy. You have these four elements, but they haven't been blended yet because you need the flour and mix it with the water. So we have earth and water, and then you need fire to bake it, and then you need the air for it to cool, and the air also will carry the sense of what it is that you just made, and hopefully it smells good. But there is this preparation, and sometimes when cooking or doing your experiment, the prep work, it's important to prep your ingredients to have them all measured out or cut and prepared, and then you begin the cooking. So on the Queen of Wands, we have the Three of Cups. This is beautiful. This is celebration. This is the Maiden Mother Crown energy. But this, and then here we have the Pleiades. This is a celebration, and Lammas is the first celebration or celebration of the first harvest. And so celebrate what you have harvested at this time and have gratitude for, because I do feel like that there is some wealth, some money benefits here where your business has grown enough to where it is profitable. And yet you have this money where you can invest in another business that that inspires you. And then on the Nine of Pentacles, we have number 13 with death and rebirth. This is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed water sign, and it rules the underworld. And you are in those depths, and it could be that there is a death in dissolving a partnership with a business partner, and I'm saying that because it's with the Nine of Pentacles, but then there's a rebirth because you find another partner or you have a partner to do another business or to continue a successful business that you already have, but then you can also grow beyond that because there is a change and transformation here with the wealth. And for some of you, this could be the loss of wealth. However, you're only losing a little bit. You held on to a, a safety net, a trust, savings, and you held on to enough of the wealth that you made from being successful. And so the loss of these three isn't going to hurt you as bad as it would some other people who only have these three pentacles and they lose everything. But I feel like that whatever you're losing, whatever is ending, because with every ending there's a new beginning. It's part of the cycles, and you are preparing yourself. There is an initiation of purifying yourself because the Temperance is a card of alchemy. There is renewal, and that's part of your purification, preparation, and after you do that, inspiration is going to flow much easier for you. Okay, let's get you a dark moon card. I feel like that your reading is going to go past Scorpio's reading, which was the longest reading of all the Lammas readings. So we have with the dark moon, Lilith with 26. Okay, Lilith was the first woman made. She was made of the same clay as Adam was, but she did not, um, she wanted to be her own person. She wanted to be her own sovereign. And that did not work out so well with Adam because Adam wanted to dominate her and she didn't want to have any part of that. So she was cast out into the darkness, and then, as the story goes, a rib was pulled from Adam and Eve was created from that rib. So it's almost like Eve was not only made from Adam, but made for Adam. And she never really was able to develop her own self. But there was a part of her because in this story, in the Adam and Eve story, the snake, and notice that Lilith has this snake that tempted her to the tree of knowledge and to eat the apple of knowledge so that she understood. And of course, as the story goes, woman was cursed with um, her menstrual cycle, and yet it is woman who has the power of creation. This is why we have Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and men want to, well, some men, not all men, wanted to control that matriarch. And so they oppressed this feminine energy. And Lilith is a representation of this oppressed feminine energy that is actually rising and rebelling against the control. And we see it in the world today, especially with women's rights over their own bodies. There are some cultures that still practice feminine genital mutilation. I can't say the words on YouTube, but you get my gist. This is to prevent women, and then the Catholic Church, they didn't want women to have access to birth control because they wanted to control her by always keeping her impregnated. And so she could never have the time to create her own and be her own. She was always sacrificing, self-sacrificing to the family, having children. And people didn't, well, they didn't, women understood how much having a child takes from them physically because it takes a great deal of energy and it draws that energy from the woman's body. And the one thing that we all have in common is every human and most mammals and animals are born from the womb of woman. So we are all born out of the womb and blood of women, regardless of your beliefs. That is the one thing that we all have in common is that. And again, we should have this great gratitude for the feminine. And when too much is asked of woman and too much has been taken from her without respect or gratitude, I mean, look at how our earth is being treated. There are communities that are rebelling against having these AI data centers built in their community because they have seen what these centers have done to other communities in destroying their water resource. And nobody can drink the water in that town. And a lot of those people don't have the finances to move out of that town to where there is clean, fresh water. And our whole planet is going through this major global transformation. And a lot of that does have to do with Pluto being in Aquarius, asking every single one of us to come into our true, authentic self. Just as you are preparing, you're connecting with Earth, you're renewing your energies, you are preparing and making adjustments. You're celebrating um, your inspiration and your ability to create. And you're also willing to let go of what no longer serves you so that there can be a rebirth of your inspiration. And that can be powerful, especially if you've been dealing with a creative block or you're just kind of stuck. Where do I take this? This is a good idea, but I'm not sure how to move it forward. It's going to come to you. Connect with Earth. That inspiration will be renewed. Okay, sorry about my rants, but I'm not sorry. Let's get your Isis Oracle cards to conclude your reading. And here is your artwork for your first card. And we have the Dark Mysteries. I think this is going to go very well with your reading because we have Lilith, who is one of the goddesses of the dark mysteries. So the dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. And I feel like this is a confirmation for all the things that I've been interpreting in your cards, especially with this death, rebirth, um, clarifying the Nine of Wands, your wealth, your ability to create wealth. But what does it mean to you? And there can be financial freedom here for you as well. Here is the artwork for your next card. And we have Divine Guardian. And I feel like Isis, goddess of magic, is bringing to you inspiration. But that is also part of the gift from the dark mysteries. You have to delve into your dark shadow self as well as your dark feminine. And I feel like that Lilith is calling you to your dark feminine energy to do some healing because our shadow holds all of our wounds, traumas, and we hide them in the shadows. And Lilith is saying, she'll wreak havoc in your life until you acknowledge, because she will create chaos until you acknowledge your wounds, your traumas, and begin to heal them. And that will set you free. That is your freedom. So, the divine guardian, this is a time of significant spiritual growth and healing for you. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of divine Mother Isis. Relax and allow your transformation to happen. Your divine guardian protects you now. Let go. Trust unconditionally in what is happening for you, as there's only divine love beneath the surface of the present situation. And that I feel like ties in with temperance as well as that death card. of death and rebirth. But Temperance, notice the angel wings. This is your divine guardian who is watching over you as you are going through this alchemical transformation that's going to renew you. Okay, then we have, here's your artwork, and we have the Pyramid of Light, psychic protection. And Pisces, you are a very psychic sign, and sometimes you disregard your intuition, you don't trust it. And now you are being asked to trust in the divine messages that are being given to you. As a being of light, darker energies may at times seek to interfere with your spiritual progress. There is nothing to fear and only more awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is now time for that interference to cease completely through loving divine power. And again, Lilith is this chaos energy. But if you notice, there's also an owl right here. An owl represents wisdom, your inner wisdom by knowing and understanding your own shadow energy. And you will then see your soul light. Here in renewal, she's holding her soul light in her hands, and that is what's guiding her in the darkest, longest night. It is when you feel like you're having a dark night of the soul, that is when you're able to see your soul light. And that is that spiritual gift that we all have that will help you come out of the darkness with great. You are protected here. You are meant to go into the dark mysteries. You are protected by your divine guardian and the Pyramid of Light and psychic protection. You, like a bat who could, and all the other creatures that are in the deep dark abyss of the ocean, they can't see, but they have other senses that allow them to have the awareness of the vibrations of what's around them. And here's your artwork, the High Priestess. A mystery is to be unveiled. A new clarity around your direction is unfolding. Be willing to wait for the full reveal, but also recognize what is happening at this time. You will be gaining valuable insight into where you are being led and for what purpose. You are experiencing a death and rebirth, but you have prepared for this with this alchemy, because alchemy is a series of steps of purification, and in each step you are letting go of that which is not pure, that which is heavy, and then after that purification you are initiated into the next level of purification, and you are being given new instructions from Spirit through the form of inspiration. And the High Priestess is the keeper of all ancient prophecies, histories, forgotten histories, lost histories, and the rituals of this renewal, of knowing yourself. That which has been forgotten can be reclaimed if you are willing to go into the depths and reclaim your power. But you have to know your shadow. And a lot of people are afraid of their own shadow because they're afraid of healing their own wounds. They'd rather be numb to that rather than become aware of that, but you have to be aware of it in order to heal it. And we have Chiron retrograding in Aries on Monday, August 3rd. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And in Aries, this is about reviewing and reevaluating how you take care of yourself. And I feel like that you are being awoken to a way of healing yourself. So I'm going to end your reading here. You are definitely the last reading, but also the longest of all the readings. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading and you resonated and was inspired by it. If so, give it a like. Feel free to share and subscribe because it helps this channel to grow. And until next time, have a blessed August month and take care. Blessed be.